I'm pretty obsessionally interested in this election. I think it is so important that Barack Obama is elected, because the world is treating America now a little bit like the village idiot of the international community, and hardly surprising. You see, when they elected George Bush the first time, the world thought, well, it was probably stolen. Here was a guy who was winning the election because the state where his brother was governor, that was under Jeb Bush's control. And here is George W. Bush, who is the son of the previous president, who was also the head of the Secret Service. I mean, it sounds like a South American country. When the Americans really put their foot in it was re-electing Bush. I mean, the rest of the world was flabbergasted. Yeah. And I think it can be almost fixed like that by electing Obama, because it really indicates this is not fundamentally a backwoods, redneck, racist society.
What do you think about Sarah Palin when you...
I used to think Michael Palin was the funniest Palin on earth. What fascinates me, though, is how people watching her on television, can they not see that she's basically learned certain speeches? And she does them very well. She's got a very good memory. But it's like a nice-looking parrot, because the parrot speaks beautifully and kind of says, "oh, shucks," every now and again, but doesn't really have any understanding of the meaning of the words that it is producing, even though it's producing them very accurately. And she's been in these training sessions with Cheney's pals, and she's learned these speeches. And the extraordinary thing is that so many people are taken in by it. And the truth is that Sarah Palin is no way good enough. And if you lined up from Europe, left-wingers, centrists, right-wingers, you wouldn't find 10%. You probably wouldn't find 5% who think she's good enough to run the United States. And she's running as the partner of a 72-year-old cancer survivor. I mean, Monty Python could have written this. And I'm sorry, Michael Palin, to say you're not the funniest Palin anymore, but you're not. I don't think you have to be an actor for 40 years to see that it's all been learned. Yeah. Well, you see Biden speaking. Well, Biden has been preparing. He knows that if this point comes up, he has to make this point, this point, and this point. But he doesn't have to learn the words off like a parrot, because he actually understands what he's talking about, and he can find the words. So when people say that she did well in the debate, I want to say to them, where have you been living all your life? The interesting thing about the Americans is that they're remarkably unenvious about money. And I applaud that. They're very generous about rich people, because they all think, well, I might get there one day. What they don't like, by and large, the core Republican vote, is anyone who's more intelligent than them, who's more graceful than they are, who's more sophisticated than they are. So they want, as leader, somebody that they feel is their equal, because they feel comfortable with someone like that. The envy of the very qualities that you need in a president is incredibly self-destructive for the American nation. I mean, you take this dreadful Fox News channel. They can now put out stuff on that channel that is no longer even pretends to be journalistically respectable. They're talking about Hannity's America is an opinion show. It's a show from Sean's perspective, which is obviously conservative. That means it doesn't have to reflect any real reality. So I would like to say, based on that way of presenting programs, that Rupert Murdoch tortures small furry animals with red-hot pokers before he even has breakfast. Now that's not, I can't justify that factually, but that's my opinion. Can I go now?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.